Hi, it's Clipper Rail and welcome to this not so much of a review, more of a fan letter to the Dapol Class 68. Now I only really had a brief interest in the rail network probably in the early 80s and sort of BR Blue, and then quickly lost interest in it, even though I kind of retained some kind of interest in the model railways. A few years ago, one of my friends told me about the 68 and I got into it, and it's really responsible for getting me right back with an interest in the modern image, which previously I had no interest in at all. So just as a bit of a background to the locomotive, it's designed by Vossloh, a German company who have subsequently been bought over by Stadler. It was built in Valencia in Spain. And it's a very striking looking loco, quite a bit of individual style to it. It's not to everybody's taste, but certainly I do like it, obviously. I think one of the main things about it really is the sound. It sounds like a locomotive, and compared to some of the two-stroke American type engines that we're used to hearing in the network these days, the Caterpillar C17516, the engine that it has is a four-stroke marine engine, so we can draw parallels to the Deltic if we want with that, and it's got a horsepower, 3,755 horsepower, but it really does sound like a locomotive. There's only 34 of them in the network, but they're well spread out, and we do see them from time to time around here. Close by to here we've got Motherwell, and there's usually one or two at any one time based there. At the moment it's just running on the Tesco trains up to Inverness, but previously it did run on the Fife Circle, and they had two trains running, two locomotives per day during the week on the Fife Circle route, which ran from Edinburgh up to Glenrothes with Thornton and back. A range of liveries that it's been seen in, and I think that's the other attraction for it, is that so far it's not had a bad livery. I think all the liveries that it's come in have been really attractive liveries. There's the standard DRS blue, there's the Scotrail liveries. There were two of them, 68, 006 and 007, that were available in Scotrail, which I think is a really nice livery. There's the Chiltern sets, which run the push-pull services between Marylebone up to Birmingham, silver and grey. Recently we've had Transpennine Express TPE, which is a really striking livery, and probably my favourite is the DRS Compass livery, which I think is one of the nicest liveries ever to have appeared on the UK rail network. I think it's a fantastic, it's a work of art. Let's go on to the model. The first thing you notice when you pick the loco up is the weight, 600 grams, really solid, quality feeling locomotive. The first one that I got, I didn't set out with the intention of getting four of them. The first one I got was 68008 in the DRS Compass livery, really because I like the livery, and Dapol have really captured that livery to a T. They've done an amazing job capturing the real complexity of it, because it has to be one of the most complex liveries to try and capture in model form. And when you look in detail at it, the actual Compass livery, the DRS logo, when you look at it with the map of Cumbria and you really zoom in on that, it's incredible the level of detail they've captured. Very complex as well, because you've got the sort of turquoisey waves that are fading into the blue. Very difficult to capture that, and they've done a pretty good job of it. An amazing bit of work they've done in the livery, and everywhere you look on the livery it's full of detail, from the tiny little labels. They're all readable, you know, the depot plate, the Vossloh label, all these kind of things. And well done to Dapol for taking on probably some of the most difficult liveries on the network to capture in model form. The DRS Compass is really a work of art. The Scotrail liveries, anything but straightforward. And then for different reasons, the TPE one in terms of the colours and the various sort of angular lines that make that livery up. Quality of the additional fitted parts, all the buffer beam detail is factory fitted, which is great because it's such an amazingly fiddly job to try and get a lot of these things in. It's all there, straight out of the box. They've got additional connectors on 008 and 15, the Chiltern liveried ones. Some of the handrails were appropriate, little ones. They're all the more obvious, I think, because they are often in contrast to the main colour scheme. Etch-wise, we've got etched roof fans, etch grills on the side, and there's also detailed parts behind some of the etch grills, which really gives the model a sort of three-dimensional aspect, a real sense of depth to it, and I think added to the overall weight of the molecule, it's just a superb model. Lights, the standard running lights and the top headlight, they've got that bang on. If you look at photographs of the real locos when they're running at night, the colour they've picked and the intensity of them looks great on the model when it's running. There's cab lighting, and the interior of the cab, there's some detail there. The one thing that's maybe not quite as good as the rest of the model, and I think compared to the Hornby 60 really sets the bar for cab detail, and it's not really. Running wise, they've been immaculate, straight from the box. All four of them have been superb. They're practically silent when they run, just the clickety-clack of it running over the tracks. They've got very good slow running speed. They don't stutter on either points or my poor track laying. They've got a real momentum to them. I think they've got 2 flywheels in the engine as well. Probably one of my best running locomotives, if not the best running locomotive. The other thing is the cost. I think we're now seeing that a lot of the major manufacturers are now pushing the £200 barrier for new locos coming out. I think Dapol retail these at about 150. I've paid usually about between 120 and 130 for them, and I would have quite happily paid a little bit more. I think they're absolutely superb locos. Their build quality, running quality, the printing, whatever else, they've just absolutely, they've produced a real landmark model. Delighted with it, as you can probably tell. So we will just give you some running sessions of the various, the 4 models that I've got. I didn't set out to buy all 4, that's just over the last couple of years I've just bought them because I've been so happy with them, and I've had a chance to see some of the various liveries. The Scotrail ones we were used to seeing quite close by, and at Chiltern we had a very rare visitor of 68015, came up to Motherwell for a few days last year. DRS Compass, when we see them around, that's probably one of the more common ones that we see around. So hope you enjoy the running sessions. We'll mix in some of the footage that I've got of the 68s that have been around. And once again, thanks very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the running.